What if you were told that a misty island on the edge of Europe, smaller than many modern countries, would one day shape global politics, language, trade, and culture for centuries to come? A land invaded more times than it conquered, fractured more often than it stood united, yet somehow destined to dominate oceans, empires, and ideas. This is not the story of inevitable greatness. This is the story of survival, adaptation, and relentless transformation. This is the history of England. Long before England had a name, before borders, crowns, or kings, the land looked nothing like it does today. During the prehistoric Stone Age, Britain was not an island at all. Vast plains connected it to continental Europe through a landmass known as Doggerland. Early humans crossed freely, hunting animals and following seasonal rhythms. Around 11,000 years ago, as the last ice age ended, melting glaciers caused sea levels to rise. Doggerland slowly vanished beneath the waves, cutting Britain off from the continent forever. Isolation did not mean stagnation, however. Ideas, tools, and people continued to arrive by sea, setting the foundation for a complex future. By roughly 4000 BC, farming arrived from the Middle East via Europe. Nomadic hunter-gatherers began settling permanently, cultivating land and domesticating animals. With stability came belief, ritual, and monument building. Across southern England, massive stone structures rose from the earth. Stonehenge remains the most iconic, but it was part of a wider, sacred landscape of tombs, circles, and ceremonial sites. These people left no written records, yet their stone legacy still whispers of an organized, spiritual society. As the Stone Age gave way to the Bronze Age, and later the Iron Age, waves of migration from Europe reshaped Britain. By around 1200 BC, Celtic culture dominated much of Western Europe, including England. These Celtic societies were tribal, warrior-based, and deeply tied to the land. They spoke related languages, worshipped nature-linked deities, and lived in hill forts scattered across the countryside. For centuries, life continued with little interference until a superpower across the Channel took notice. In 55 BC, the Roman general Julius Caesar crossed the English Channel. His expeditions achieved limited success, but they revealed something important. Britain was reachable. Nearly a century later, in AD 43, Emperor Claudius launched a full-scale invasion. Roman legions marched inland, crushing resistance and founding cities such as Londinium, Eboracum, and Deva. Roads, baths, villas, and laws followed. Though revolts like Queen Boudicca's uprising shook Roman authority, England remained part of the Roman world for almost 400 years. Hadrian's Wall marked the empire's northern edge, a stone reminder of both power and limits. By the early 5th century, Rome was collapsing under pressure. In the year 407, Roman troops withdrew from Britain, leaving behind cities without protection and a population unprepared for independence. Into this vacuum came new peoples from across the North Sea: Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. Whether through invasion or gradual settlement, their arrival transformed Britain forever. Roman culture faded, Latin disappeared, Christianity weakened. In its place rose Germanic customs, pagan beliefs, and a new language, Old English. By the 7th century, England was divided into several Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Though culturally united, they were politically fragmented. Over time, Christianity returned, brought by missionaries from Rome and Ireland. Monasteries became centers of learning, and kings sought legitimacy through faith. Still, England remained divided and vulnerable. In the year 793, Viking raiders attacked the monastery of Lindisfarne. The shock echoed across Christendom. These were not ordinary enemies. They came fast, struck hard, and vanished. Raids became invasions. In 865, the great heathen army landed with the intent to conquer. One by one, Anglo-Saxon kingdoms fell. Only Wessex remained. King Alfred of Wessex faced near total defeat. Forced into hiding, he regrouped and struck back in 878 at the Battle of Edington. Victory saved his kingdom and England itself. A treaty divided the land between Anglo-Saxons and Vikings under the Danelaw. Alfred reformed defenses, law, education, and governance. His legacy endured. Alfred's descendants pushed back Viking rule. In 927, King Æthelstan captured York and declared himself King of the English. At the Battle of Brunanburh in 937, a coalition of Vikings and Scots was crushed. England emerged as a unified, independent power. When Edward the Confessor died childless, England faced chaos. Harold Godwinson took the throne, but rivals emerged immediately. After defeating a Norwegian invasion in the north, Harold rushed south to meet William of Normandy. On October the 14th, 1066, at Hastings, Harold fell. England was conquered. William reshaped England. Anglo-Saxon nobles were replaced. French became the language of power. Castles rose across the land. The Doomsday Book catalogued wealth and land with brutal efficiency. England was now tied to continental politics, especially France. Medieval England was turbulent. Kings lost French lands, barons rebelled, and in 1215, King John signed the Magna Carta, limiting royal power forever. Parliament slowly emerged. The idea that a king could be restrained took root. The Black Death arrived in 1348, killing up to half the population. Society cracked under pressure. In 1381, peasants revolted. Authority survived, but the old order was broken. Dynastic conflict erupted in the Wars of the Roses. For 30 years, noble families slaughtered one another. In 1485, Henry Tudor defeated Richard III. A new dynasty began. Henry VIII changed England forever by breaking from Rome. Monasteries were dissolved. Faith became politics. His children swung the nation between Protestantism and Catholicism until Elizabeth I stabilized the realm. Under Elizabeth, England defeated the Spanish Armada, explored the world, and laid foundations for empire. Culture flourished. Shakespeare wrote. England grew confident. Tensions between crown and parliament exploded in 1642. Civil war followed. King Charles I was executed. England became a republic, briefly. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 ensured parliamentary supremacy. The Bill of Rights changed monarchy forever. In 1707, England and Scotland united to form Great Britain. England was no longer alone, but it remained central. The Industrial Revolution transformed Britain into the world's leading power. But 2 world wars ended imperial dominance. England's strength lies not in purity, but in fusion. Roman order, Saxon speech, Viking grit, Norman law. From conquest came creation, and from a small island came a global legacy.